Okay, so we're going to do multiple conversions in this problem. And so we're doing exactly what we did last class, but it's going to take multiple steps to get there. So for example, here you have a student that was using 189.2 grams of sodium, but it wants you to convert it to atoms. Okay, so let's think. You're starting from grams, you're converting to atoms like this. Okay, so it takes multiple steps to get there because you're essentially starting here, right? But you are going to end up over here. So you have to first change it to moles and then change it to atoms. So let's follow along and see how we can do that. So we are going to start by writing what we have. We have 189.2 grams. You're going to multiply it by a conversion fraction like this. Okay, so you know it takes 2 steps to get there, so we're going to go ahead and write 2 conversions like this. Anytime you have a fraction, you have to put a true statement here and here, right? And your true statements are right here. Okay, so these are the only numbers you're allowed to write in your fraction. So let's recap what we learned last class. If you don't want grams, it goes on the bottom. Okay, so we're right here in your chart. What's the very next thing that we can convert it to? The very next thing we can convert it to is a mole. Okay, so you use the numbers that are on that chart. Okay, and so we are going to write 1 mole. And then for grams, where do you have to look? On the periodic table. So you look up sodium, and it's going to be 22.99 grams. Okay, so you know this is yellow, and then you know that this is green if you're a color person. Now, you know you're not done with the problem because it asks for atoms, okay? But we are right now at moles. So we don't want moles, so you have to get rid of moles and put it on the bottom of your fraction. And you're going to convert to atoms like this. So we're getting rid of moles. We're going to convert to atoms. Okay. Anytime you have a fraction, you must use the numbers that are up at the top here. So the only options is to put 1 mole here. And for atoms, look at the blue color, 6.02 times 10 to the 23. We are going to use Avogadro's number. Okay, so now you are just multiplying by 2 fractions. So you're going to do 189.2, okay, times 1 times the top, divide by the bottom, times the top, divide by the bottom. And then when you do that, I believe your answer will come out to be, so you can try it. Let's see, 4.95 times 10 to the 24. Remember, there's an E, so there is an exponent. And you got to write atoms, because this is what you converted to, of sodium. Remember, it's a 3-part answer. You always need a number, a unit, and a substance. Like, what are you talking about? Okay, so then let's try the next problem over here. This one, you are starting with atoms, okay, and you are ending in grams. So you are converting from atoms to grams. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to erase this problem here, and I'm just going to rewrite the mole map down here. Okay, so give me just a second. Okay, so I wrote the mole map down here so you can follow along, but we are starting here, right, with atoms, and we need to first convert to moles, and then we're going to convert to grams. So it takes 2 steps to get to the answer. Okay, so we're going to write down what we know, 7.29 times 10 to the 23, okay, atoms. And we know it takes 2 steps to get to the answer, so you know it's going to take 2 fractions to get there. Okay, so let's backtrack one more time here. We're starting at atoms, and we don't want this, so we need to put it on the bottom of the fraction to get rid of atoms. Okay, so we are going to write atoms down here. So look at your map here. If you're starting here, what's the very next step you can convert to? You can convert to moles. So there's that. So we are going to write the correct numbers here. You are only allowed to write the numbers that are over here. Okay? You can't use this number right here because that's not part of your mole map. So according to the numbers below, you have to put a 1 here. And for atoms, you see that word right here, right? So you have to use Avogadro's number, 6.02 times 10 to the 23. Now, right now we are stuck at moles, but we want grams. So we have to convert again to get out of moles and get to grams. You don't want moles, so it has to go on the bottom of your fraction here. Right? And we're going to now jump and go over here to grams like this. So using your map, you should be able to put the correct numbers here. Every time you see mole, what number are we going to put? A 1. And when you look at this word grams, where do you have to look to find that number? Right, the periodic table. And for calcium, I believe that is 40.08. So now you're just multiplying by 2 fractions, so you should be able to get to the answer. So let's go ahead and solve it. So you multiply the top, you divide by the bottom, and then let's see if we get the same answer, which is 48.54 if you round. And you would write grams of calcium because it's a 3-part answer. Okay, so you don't have to do the last problem. Those are your 2 examples. Now you are going to work on the very next page. So page 22. The tricky about page 22 is that some of them only take 1 conversion to get to the answer, and some of them take 2 conversions. So basically, you have problems that either take 1 fraction or 2 fractions to get to your answer. Okay, so you have to think about how many steps does it take to get to the answer. You have to remember, okay, that if you have grams, right, and then you have a mole, and then you have atoms, how many steps does it take to get from one place to another? Like if you are going from moles to grams, that's a quick 1 step. Atoms to moles, that's a quick 1 step, right? But if you need to go from grams to atoms, right, then you have to go first to moles and then you have to jump to atoms. So you know that takes 2 steps to get to the answer. Okay, I'll put the answers on the board so you can double check your answers, but you do need to show all your work to get the credit. I'll check it next class. Okay, so good luck and have fun.